Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is The Terrible Secret of Lot X. It was written by Luke Strom, and he's also our GM. Our recap will be given by Morgan Llewellyn, and this is episode 5. So, without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Morgan?
Oh, how blind I was. Interesting to think just a few days ago, in the parking lot holding my new possessions, the man accosted me, Pell, holding that heart in his hand. I wish I could go back to before I knew. We continued our search for more of Pell's possessions. At the house, where we found some documents. These documents have led me to some revelations. The things around us aren't as they seem to be. Oh, the poor tannery foreman. Ignorant. He has no idea. She's behind it. She's the one who took them all out to her cabin with her brother and the servant. We looked in the neighborhood for him, the men who disappeared. The claw marks. Oh, the claw marks. Big, mean. So much so Aldous. Good old Aldous didn't even know what they were. Took him without a drop of blood. Their boots by the door. Breakfast on the table, just vanished. Of course, they tried to make the flyers, saying they went to Colorado. But we know. Oh, we know their experiments. It's eternal life they're after, that immortality. Pell was after the same thing. Has his heart in his own hands to show for it. Of course, we have to keep them out, all of them out. I made the sign on the door, made it an offering with my own blood, and it accepted it. It glowed. The world we know is thin veil to what things truly are, the order of everything. I need to find Pell. I need to. He knows way more about this than any of us. And they have his notes. He knows what they'll be up to. We left flyers for him. Hopefully he responds, but the others weren't patient enough to wait. We all went to the cabin. And I don't know what awaits us, but I have a feeling it might involve why Pell has his heart in his own hands.
Very nice.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And so where we had last left off, you guys had come out to this dirt road on the near the railroad tracks on the way to Bolton, leading into a forested area. You made your way up the road, and where we had last left off, the last thing you guys saw as you rounded a corner was a small but well-appointed cabin with smoke rising from the chimney and a bicycle propped up against the front porch. And so that's where we pick up. You bring the car to a stop, and what are you up to next?
Okay, so about how far from the cabin are we?
It's probably maybe about 300 yards away.
Okay.
And with it, it's probably close enough for someone to have heard a car coming. But with it, there doesn't seem to be a large amount of commotion of any kind, but there does seem to be signs of occupancy.
Hey, I don't know if it's me, but didn't that fella at Washington say that he rides a bicycle?
Oh, I can't remember actually.
Thought that he said that he rides his bicycle to work.
I think he said some of the guys just drive into work on a bike. I don't remember if he said it was him or not. But
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Because I think we asked him how the guys are getting to and from work.
yeah, some of them took the bus, I think. Some drove a bike, and some like came together, like grouped in together. I think, if I
Don't you
remember.
Smoke. Somebody's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Are there
should we
any
approach this now? What do you think?
Are there any windows on the cabin?
Yeah. There's a couple of windows. There's one on either side of the front door, which is what you can see.
Is there a porch, or is it just come right up to the door?
Yeah, there's a porch to it. I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect from kind of a classic, cabin. Like it's got a porch in the front of it. It's got wooden shingled roof, and off to one side you can barely make out what's probably like an outhouse or maybe a tool shed or something on the side.
Now, is it built up off the ground, or they're like, is it built on rocks, or is it built right onto the ground? Like, would there possibly be a basement, or could we get underneath? Like maybe crawl under the floorboards?
From where you guys are, you're pretty far away. It's hard to tell. It looks like there's probably some kind of foundation or something underneath it, but it's hard to tell.
It's a log cabin, right?
Yeah, it's a log cabin, correct. And roughly from where you guys are, you know, kind of based on the geography of the area, the Miskatonic River can't be too far behind this cabin.
Well, here's the thing. Most likely, not a lot of people come out this way, so he might have heard us coming, or whoever's there. He could peek out the window and see us out here. Why don't we pretend like we're just a bunch of lost people? We saw the smoke coming out of the chimney, and we thought we'd ask for directions because we're kind of lost.
Good idea, Aunt Gertie. Keeper, how far is the closest neighbor? Like, did we pass anything along on our way to get here, or?
Well, with it, from what you guys have seen, there's no one really nearby. Like, you have to drive about a mile before you saw anybody else.
Okay.
Well, I'm with Aunt Gertie. I mean, if they've already heard us and we're sneaking around, there goes any cover story.
But what if they're waiting for us?
Well, if it's that, here's
what
the
if the
thing.
foreman told her that we were talking to him?
Well, here's the thing. If the door opens and we recognize somebody, then we can say, "Oh, we've been looking for you." But if it's somebody we don't know, like Woodrow, he doesn't know what we look like. He doesn't know anything about us.
The cover story, but I mean, we're bringing our guns with us, right?
Yeah, we're out hunting, and that's why we got lost.
Goddamn right, we'll bring our guns with us. That whole place could be full of those things that live under the ship in the
woods. We should probably keep our guns pocketed.
Oh, I got a shotgun. That'll be a tough one.
I'm just going to stand like this.
No, this is
hand in your purse.
I'm telling you, Pell would know what's waiting for us.
Well, should a couple of us wait here and the others go up, or should we all just sort of hang at the bottom of the steps and then one person go up and knock on the door?
Well,
It's not safe to be alone.
Good idea. Why don't I go out into the woods, get myself a nice position, and sit there with my rifle in case any funny business goes on?
Because they might already see you. They might already have been watching you.
Okay.
Just be ready. Let's just go up to the door. I can knock. I'll knock on the door.
Okay.
This guy's just ready to be ready to shoot anybody that opens that door. If I scream. If I scream, I'm just going to duck. I'm going to go straight down to the ground and duck.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so are you guys all just going to make your way up the little dirt path then towards it?
Yeah, we're going to look like we're kind of lost.
Gotcha. As you guys walk towards the cabin, everybody make a spot hidden check.
Oh, I need dice. I forgot.
Me too. I forgot to get them out.
That's a fail for me.
Let's see.
43 out of... Oh, jeez.
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
78.
I barely passed with the 23.
I'm on point here.
So with it, Frank, you had an 8. With it, you're looking kind of ahead at the cabin, and just as you're kind of glancing your eyes across it, you notice some movement in one of the windows where the drapes are kind of like briefly pulled aside. You catch like the glint of like someone's face, and then they kind of drop it away. All this, yeah, you notice that as well, and I guess same for you, Cornelius. I think you made it too. Yeah, basically everybody who made the spot hidden, you guys catch a glimpse of someone in the cabin looking out at you.
There are eyes on us.
Yeah, don't react.
Just keep, okay. Yeah.
Just keep
Yeah,
What if
walking.
they're waiting for us, Aldous?
I'll don't worry about that. I'll put. Just go with it. Don't keep looking.
Wait, you see something in the woods? What are you talking about?
Somebody's at the window. Don't.
Oh.
Keeper, what's it look like around the cabin?
It's not an especially heavily wooded area, but it looks like this area is, it's basically just old forest that's kind of been here forever.
I actually kind of meant right around the cabin. Is there like a wood pile?
Yeah.
Is there an axe?
Yeah, with that, as you guys approach the cabin, the and it kind of opens up into a clearing area around the cabin. There's some bushes and things around. Like it's not especially trim and tidy. Like it's not like a clean lawn or anything by any stretch of the imagination. Like it's fairly wild, but it's very obvious that any trees that were anywhere maybe within about 30 yards of the cabin have been chopped down a while ago. Yeah, and so as you guys approach it, between you and in the cabin, there's just some bushes and things around there. But as you get closer, you do see off to one side, looks like there's a what looks like maybe a woodshed or something a little further back, and a little closer to you, there's an outhouse.
Now, I want to take a quick glance at the ground. Does it look to be heavily trafficked, or
make a spot hidden test,
or tracking?
Yeah, either one. I'll let you make either one.
Spot hidden's higher, so 66 out of 65. Just missed it. I could burn a luck.
It's up to you if you want to burn a luck for this one.
Yeah, I'll burn one luck. I barely used any.
Okay, so you're looking around and like you smell something just kind of rotten, and you kind of look off to the side and just something catches your eye, and you kind of track off a little bit into some of those bushes that are maybe about 20 yards away from the cabin. And in this indentation in the ground, there is this rancid pile of meat, and at first it looks like it's just maybe like a bunch of slaughtered animals, but you've seen a lot of dead animals, and you realize it's not that. Like, because there's a what is definitely part of a horse here, and you see part of a human arm and a torso, and you think maybe it's like this has all been chopped up and whatnot, but then you realize that they're not chopped up. They are merged. It looks like there's maybe about parts of 2 horses, part of a person, and a dog mingled together. There are what looks like gunshot wounds through it, and it is rotting away. Make a sanity roll.
Sanity, yeah. I already have my hand. And I failed that.
Hey, 1d6.
Oh. 3 points.
Okay. Well, you're pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, looking at the size of this thing and the position of some of the hooves, this is a likely candidate for whatever kicked the ceiling.
I swallowed back a little bit of vomit and
What'd you find over there, Aldous?
I put my hand up right away. Don't come over here. Trust me. And I start walking towards.
Aldous, what did you find?
I found the horses, and dude, I don't know what. Dude, sorry, guys, I don't know what this is. This is like they're not chopped up; they're melded together. It's a horse, a dog, and a person. And no, if you don't believe me, you can look. But
Could it be part of the experiment? And
they're fused. They're fused together. It's not chopped up in a pile together. It's one creature with bullet holes. Trust me, I know animals. This is not something from this world. This is some kind of construct. And I just kind of I think we just need to kick open the door and shoot whoever's in that freaking cabin. I don't even want to knock at this point.
But maybe they're the ones that killed this thing.
Yeah, they could be innocent.
And
I think the Corny is right. Maybe it's some sort of a strange science experiment.
And I'm gonna go over there and look, because I think it's part of the whole.
I kind of
formula.
literally put I grab you by the shoulder. I said, "You don't want to see this. Please take my word for this. You don't want to see this."
But Aldous, do you know?
I know. That's why I'm telling you.
Do you know what it is? What's they're working on? Did you read the text?
No, but you don't. I mean, no, I can't. You don't want to see it, please.
I have to know what they're working on. What Pell was working on.
I don't want to see it.
Oh.
I'll take your word for it.
And you see, I'm like white, like I'm pale. And I have my handkerchief out. I'm like.
Remember now, the people inside the house probably know that we've seen it.
They have to be watching us. I'll
look at the house. Has anybody come out of the house?
I don't see anybody has come out yet. No.
I hunt and butcher animals for a living, and this is disgusting.
What we're dealing with isn't traditional.
Let's just reserve our judgment for a moment and knock on the door.
But then, Gertie, you read it too, didn't you?
You're talking about that book. I didn't read much. All I read was I saw that creature was in league with them. And something about some sort of a society that lives inside the Arkham.
But not about what Pell was working on, what they were working on.
Well, you told me. You said they're working on immortality, but that's just nuts. People have been working on immortality for the last 10,000 years, and they haven't gotten anywhere. Let's go see what this is all about. We all got guns.
Yeah, I agree. Come on. I don't want to look at some nasty body. Ugh.
I couldn't help but notice your horse in the garden.
Is anyone going to push past Aldous and take a look at the rotting meat pile?
I got a close enough look at a weird horse down in that ship.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do a power roll to see if I can resist my own.
Cornelius is going to go look.
Okay.
I got a 99, so I did not. Maybe that means I failed my power roll.
Yeah, so your willpower fails and you buckle and you got to look. You and Cornelius creep up and look at that pile of conjoined human and animal.
Mr. Felton, please don't. Come on, man.
Luke, while they're doing that, I'm going to keep an eye on the windows and the door.
Is that a man? Is that a man's body?
Yeah, I failed. Shocker.
Ooh, D6.
Oh my god.
I was trying to save you from that.
Yeah, I know, but Cornelius is
I know.
going to do what Cornelius is going to do. That's a 5.
Oh,
Ooh, wait, get the card.
No, Cornelius.
Oh, do I have to do a sanity roll?
yeah.
It's like I've seen Wes at the local butcher shop.
Except for the people being.
Yeah, well, after he told
Part
me,
of it.
I was kind of expecting that. I passed my sanity.
Oh, well, you only lose one. You've seen a lot of horrible things in your life, and a part man, part horse, part dog is it's up
Yeah.
there, but not that bad.
All right, Tom, can you pull a card for me? Do you have those nearby?
Oh,
I lost 5.
I've got it all on my wall now. Roll a 1d8.
4.
4. It's you roll a 1d6 and you forget the last 1d6 hours.
Ouch.
That's probably for the best for Cornelius, in all honesty.
Probably.
Amnesia.
4.
Okay, for the next, so everything that happened in the last 4 hours, you're kind of blanking on, and that lasts for 1d10 rounds. So you'll get your memory back, but.
So yeah, Cornelius,
for 7.
you're suddenly confused why early in the AM everyone's at the in the middle of the forest. It's a strange place to be.
Aldous.
Yeah.
Aldous, where are we?
At the and then I walk over to him at the cabin. You okay there?
Cabin.
Remember
Can we go to the cabin? I thought we were going to try to find Pell first.
we did. We papered the sewers.
What do you mean? We were leaving the. I made this.
Now I grab you by the shoulders and like stare into your eyes. I'm like, buddy, are you all right? Come look at me.
Aldous.
We've been at the cabin. We've been walking around, and I kind of veer him away from the creature and point. Look, buddy, and I kind of point him towards the cabin. We've been here for a little bit now, actually.
But we don't know what's here.
That's what we're about to find out. We were going to walk to the doors. Remember? You've been under a lot of stress, my friend.
For a lot of stress, Aldous.
I think after this we need a vacation. Are you okay to go in there? We're going to go into the cabin.
We don't know what we're walking into, Aldous.
No.
I don't
We
like
all have our
this.
guns, and we're ready for anything.
No,
Is he going to be all right to go?
Keep an eye on him.
Connie, are you
No,
okay?
it's too much. It's too much.
You want to sit in the car? You want to wait in the car for us?
We should just go. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Okay, honey, I'll wait over here by the car with you. Let the boys see what they can find out.
But no, have you seen? We all need to go. Have you seen a man hold his own heart in his hands?
Well, yeah, you were telling us
I
about it.
have.
It's okay. It's okay. You
We don't
saw
know.
something really scary a second ago, and now you just try to hold yourself together.
Yeah, it's probably the blood loss is what's bothering you there, Mr. Felton. I've got some receipts that you can sign. Maybe getting into that habit will make you feel better again.
Blood loss.
Oh, your cut on your hand. You see that?
Oh, the
Yeah, from last night.
symbol. We're safe at my home. I made it. I made the symbol. It glowed. It accepted it. I'll wait for you. You'll come around.
Hey, why don't you come over here and sit down?
Let's go. Plop down by the car and mutter to myself.
Okay. So Gertie and Cornelius peel off towards the car. Aldous, Frank, and Randall, you guys are heading towards the cabin?
I thought we were just going to wait a few minutes, let him come around, and then see. That way we're all together.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a passing thing. Eventually, he seems to kind of get control of himself again, and everything relatively back to normal.
Oh, we need to see this through. We're already here.
Yeah, now that I filled you in on everything that happened in the last 4 hours.
Yes. No, I remember now. Everything's become so muddled lately.
Do you remember the part where you told me you were to get rid of that damn ostrich?
Never.
Yes.
All right, so if we got ourselves kind of back to slightly normal, I suggest everybody be ready for anything, because now between the claw marks, this horrible thing here, I don't know what we're going to be walking into.
You've all been very, very brave.
Thank you.
But it doesn't mean anything until this point. Now we're going to have to be really brave.
Right.
Are we brave or are we blind?
Oh,
A little bit of both at this point.
yeah. And you're still going to knock on the door first, right, Gertie? That's how brave we are.
Sure. All right.
When we get up to the door, I'm going to kind of say, don't anybody stand directly in front of the door. When you knock, take a step to your left or right. I just don't trust anything right now.
All right.
Cornelius is staring into the nearest window.
I'm going to go up and tap, 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 tap.
Okay, so you knock on the door. You hear some footsteps within, and then a man's voice say, "Coming, just a moment." And the door creaks open a little bit, and you see a smiling man's face in the crack in the door. From what you can see, looks like he's impeccably dressed, and he kind of looks out the crack in the door at you and kind of behind you and says, "Oh, hello there. How can I help you?"
Well, we seem to be a little lost.
I understand. Well, don't worry. It's no trouble. Just if you turn around and in that direction, you'll see the road behind you will lead you straight out back to the pike.
I see. It's a nice little place you got here, huh?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
What's your name, sir? My name is Getty Freetag.
Well, my name is Pelham Grenville, ma'am, and I'm in the employ of the Elias family. But unfortunately, I'm afraid you can't be here. Madam is out, and she's not here at the moment. She has some important business out of town. I apologize, but I must ask you to leave.
Where's Woodrow, Pelham?
Oh, would that be Mildred? Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, you know her?
Oh, yes.
Yes, you told us she lives at the house. Why would she come here?
Well, I'm afraid, like I said, she's been quite busy lately, but I apologize. I unfortunately must ask you to leave.
Well, she mentioned something about some work in Colorado.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I wouldn't know anything about that.
And would you also not know about what's out in your garden, Mr. Pelham?
What's out in my garden? I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Oh, he's had a blow to the head, and he's feeling a little woozy. You wouldn't happen to have any tea or a place he could sit down for a little bit? It'd be very dangerous to shake him around in the car, trying to get back out of here.
He smiles with a big grin and says, "Oh, tea, delightful. Yes, well, I suppose that could be arranged." And he pushes the door open a little bit and kind of stands off to one side.
What do I see inside?
Well, from what you see, it looks like a pretty hectic place. There's a lot of what it looks like is basically one large central room that they kind of has a main living area that is just covered in papers, like a desk in the middle of it. There's some seating and stuff that's mostly been pushed off to the sides. It looks like a busy, hectic mess. And the part of this place is divided off into a dining and a kitchen area that almost looks like a makeshift laboratory, or actually more accurately, like a makeshift bootlegger's still, because there's all this distillery equipment in there. Further back, there's a couple of doors that are both closed right now. And he says, well, he's kind of half behind the door, and he says, well, certainly, come on in, madam.
Mr. Pelham, or Pelham's his first name.
Yeah.
What was his last name?
Grensville.
Grenville.
And I know I've got the name written down here, but what is
you guys found him in the
Phone book.
Yeah, he's listed as the same address as the Elias Manor with the with Woodrow and what's the other girl's name?
Mildred.
Are you a lawyer, Mr. Grenville?
Me? Oh, no. I am a butler, madam.
Ah, you're the butler. Well, that explains why there's no staff over at the house.
Indeed. And yes, if you wouldn't mind, come on in. I'll prepare some tea.
Come,
Everybody
Cornelius.
make a psychology roll.
Yeah, he's going to prepare poison tea.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't.
Oof.
9.
12.
Bullshit. 90. Damn it.
12, which for me is a hard success.
Okay.
Fail.
I failed, but I
Missed it by 9.
quite
Miserably.
clearly.
Okay, so Cornelius is the only one who makes it?
Yeah.
That's kind of hilarious and appropriate. So, in your disturbed and distressed state, behind this guy's smile, you sense the same, Cornelius. This guy's not right, and he obviously means you harm, like immediately right now.
Step out of the house. Level the guy.
Well, with it, yeah. What's your dexterity?
My
Actually,
dexterity
55.
is 55. Yep.
So he's making a motion like he's moving to step away from the door, but you can tell he's got something in his other hand behind the door, and he's bringing it around.
Can I fire him? Fire at him?
Yeah. You see this happening just before he does.
I duck.
Oh, that was a psychology roll to see if you.
43. I
I
pass.
Okay. Okay, so Cornelius, yeah, you get this sense before anyone else does that like everyone's uneasy and like this is not a good situation. You realize how imminently dangerous it is. As he brings a fencing saber around the door to stick it into Aunt Gertie, you plug him with your rifle. Roll for damage.
And the rifle is what was it? D10?
Which rifle was it?
I'm holding. I believe I have a shotgun.
Oh.
Shotgun, 12 gauge, 20 gauge or 12 gauge.
Are you carrying the one that's got the symbol etched into it?
Yep. Whatever that one is.
Yeah, the hunting 10 gauge. Yeah, I think it's 46 plus 2, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
All right, give me. Hold on.
Hopefully you got enough.
I have D6s right here.
Yeah, at that close range.
4d6.
Yep.
Plus.
He's
How much?
hamburger.
How much was the plus on that?
2.
2, so 10 total.
Okay.
So not that great of a roll, but
Okay, so you rack your gun up and fire it as Pelham, this mad butler, lunges out to stab Aunt Gertie. You catch him across his face and shoulder, and he's just pouring blood everywhere. And he just lets out this ear-splitting howl and lunges into Aunt Gertie with his blade. Aunt Gertie, make a brawl.
I'm going to use Krav Maga. 65. What's my brawl? 25. Yeah, I really felt that one.
Okay.
You cad attacking a woman.
And so yeah, he jabs that blade straight into Aunt Gertie's gut for 9 points of damage.
What?
I only have 9 points, so I'm dead.
Well, I mean, you're potentially
Majorly
dead.
wounded, majorly wounded, and I pass out.
Yeah. If they can't patch you up, you're gonna bleed out. But with it, yeah, he just howls in rage, and with that, everyone watching this happen, Cornelius, you've got your gun up and ready. So before anybody else can really react, if you want to take your second shot with that double barrel.
Ooh, that's gonna be a miss.
Does he get a bonus for point blank with a shotgun?
Oh, yeah, I guess he would. Yeah, go ahead and use a bonus die.
Oh, well, that turned it into an extreme success.
Okay, so
61 to an 01, actually.
Okay, so yeah, with it, you fire a second shot that hits him clean in the neck and just shears his head from his body and sends his head hurtling back. This insane grin on his smashed face the whole time as he goes sailing, and his body just kind of lets go of the sword and slumps to the ground, bleeding everywhere.
I dive for Gertie. Frank Randall, help me here.
Yeah.
Put pressure on this.
I'm already trying to do it.
Maybe. So I will assist whoever's doing first aid because
Good.
I'm not real knowledgeable on it.
I'm not bad, so I know whoever.
Yeah, I'll assist you. I'll be
Okay.
kind of put my hands.
I failed the first aid roll, so I'm not applying pressure in the right spot.
Well, you get a bonus die from somebody trying to assist you. If Aldous makes his test.
I got a 43 out of 40, so
Okay.
And 3 luck points.
I'll burn my luck. I'll burn luck for that because
Okay. So you burn the luck to
absolutely.
To stabilize me.
Yo,
Yeah.
I'm at 1 point, and I'm unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aunt Gertie's not looking good. She just took a sucking chest wound. And so, yeah, you guys have her just lying sprawled out in the...
Oh, you said my gut, not my chest.
Yeah, fine. A sucking gut wound. And Gertie's sprawled out on the front porch. Meanwhile, just inside is this headless butler corpse still gripping a fencing saber, one of its legs twitching madly.
They figure it.
thank God, Cornelius, you had quick reaction.
I'm gonna shoot the
Yeah, thank God.
his hand off with the
It
saber.
could have been worse.
Okay. So I guess Cornelius just loads
Cornelius is a titch bit paranoid.
2 more rounds or 2 more shells into the shotgun and fires them into the butler's sword arm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cornelius, he's dead.
Yeah.
Is he
Ears. Holy crap.
smiling till the last? Was he?
Yeah, and that gun roars like a demon every time he shoots it.
Yeah. Like we gotta find some water or something for Gertie here to kind of just take care of her. And all. Is there anything inside that we can tend to her with?
As you guys make your way into the cabin, like I was mentioning earlier, this kind of interior area. Part of
I'm staying with Aunt Gertie, gun out. Just
yeah. Part of it's kind of like a lounge area that has been taken over by papers and scattered documents and things like that. There's a desk there that's obviously been used with a lot of work. There's crumpled up papers all around it. The other half of the main area, like I said, it looks kind of like a cross between an amateur laboratory and a bootlegger's distillery. There's all this distilling equipment and everything that's all been set up, and it's very strange looking. Like it doesn't look how you would expect something like that to normally look. I mean, if any of you guys have any chemistry or cooking skill, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I look for is there like a water pump for the well or anything?
Yeah. So, Randall, you go out to the side looking for a water pump. You find one near the tool shed, And actually, on to one side of a tool shed, one thing you notice is what looks like a kiln. Make a spot hidden check.
All right, come on. I'll spend 3 luck to make that successful.
Okay.
All right.
So as you're pumping water, you're looking at that kiln, and like there's some ash and things piled around it. And you see something glint in the light, and you kind of stop pumping for a moment and walk over and kind of brush through the ash a little bit, and there's some cracked bones in the ash, and that's a little weird. And then you find what definitely is some half melted jewelry. Those bones probably belong to a person. Make it a sanity roll.
Oh, yeah, it's a fail.
Okay, it's only 1d4.
Okay.
But yeah, with it,
3.
somebody was basically looks like probably cooked down into ash in this kiln.
Like, what the flip is going on around here? I shake my head. I get like a canister to take some water over.
Yeah.
And I kind of like start patting Gertie and, doing the best that I think I can to just try and ease the shock when she wakes up.
Now,
Is anything happening with the head? Because the leg was twitching.
No, doesn't seem to be. It's just lying there with its eyes wide open, and just that insane smile is still stuck on that head.
now, Keeper,
I'm gonna shut his eyes.
I remember when we had first went and discovered the boat, we had like a medical kit, not a medical kit, like a first aid kit.
Yeah.
Is it still in the car? And if so, does it have smelling salts? It seems
presumably so. With it, yeah, with a little bit of time, for those of you who are taking care of Aunt Gertie, you guys are able to kind of patch her up, get her wound taken care of, and then rouse her. So that's Aldous and Frank are tied up with that. Cornelius, you're basically, I guess, given free reign to explore if you want. Randall, right. after you get the water back and drop it off with Aldous and Frank, Frank Gertie. Yeah.
I mentioned the kiln over there, but if Cornelius has went into the cabin to close eyeballs on a decapitated head, I'm gonna follow him in because a little worried about this.
I'm gonna go over to the equipment that's set up, and I'm gonna start pouring through the notes, trying to find anything that might relate to this equipment.
Yeah, sure enough. So looking at this distillation equipment, do you have any kind of chemistry or cooking roll? Or cooking failure?
I don't think so.
Okay, no problem.
I have natural world.
It wouldn't quite be relevant to this.
It doesn't really. Yeah, it doesn't help.
I mean, that's okay. It's
or
kind
anthropology, but that also doesn't really.
Yeah, so you're looking over it. This is kind of a strange setup. One thing you see is there's a countertop here that has a box, and it's half empty. All that's in the box is a bunch of mason jars, just empty mason jars. There's chemicals and looks like some small industrial quantities of them have been bought. And with it, as you're looking through this, one thing you notice is that there's just strange, shimmering, almost like pearlescent powder. Small bits of it are dusted around on the counter and near what looks like is probably the output of this still.
I'm gonna rub some between my fingers. And does it feel like the powder that we used to reveal the?
No. This is different. This is kind of more like it's almost like a salt. Like it's got kind of a grainier, salty consistency to it. And
What do you make of this, Randall?
Well, hey, they're boiling something. I don't.
Yeah.
Looks like I almost taste it, and then I'm like going, "What am I doing?" I'm we should be checking around. We should check these other doors. There could be other people in here hiding.
One other thing catches your eye to this place, Cornelius. As you're looking around near the kind of a bubbling part of the still, there's a clipboard, and on it, this clipboard has what looks like is kind of a ripped sheet out of a book, along with some other handwritten notes on here. Flipping through it real quick, you see. Looks like all of this is a recipe that seems to have been refined or commented on, and it's for rendering bodies down. This refers to them as rendering them down into their essential salts, and with it, the this sheet, one of the things that's on it is this chant that's been kind of written several times, forwards and backwards throughout it. And with that,
Well, it looks like we found the workers who went to Colorado.
I'm gonna send you guys a. It's gonna be two things. One you're gonna find in a moment, but the other, the chant of life is what it's referred to as in here.
Okay.
Email or?
Yeah, I sent you an email. But basically, Cornelius, make a Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Okay. I actually have some of this now. Look at me go. Nope, I got a 14. Not enough.
A 14 out of what?
I think I have, well, from reading things, around 4, I think is where I was at.
Oh, okay. Well, you would have picked up at least 5 from one of your.
5, right.
Yeah, so you're probably at 9.
9,
okay.
yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, what's your idea roll?
My intelligence is 55, so I can make a roll for that.
No, well, I'm going to use the one roll for both of it. Okay. So you don't quite grasp the some of the specifics of these notes, but this chant, supposedly, if someone from what you get from it, if someone is rendered down into these salts, if they're distilled into these base salts, this chant repeated with vigor, calling upon the demon sultan, the controller of life and death, will bring them back to life. And beyond that, if it's said in reverse, the reverse will also occur.
What are you reading there, Mr. Felton?
And I kind of take it, and I go walk over to some of the salt. It's kind of piled up.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna kind of like brush it together in a little pile?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like where this is going.
Find ye the stars of demon Agathoth shine. Death to life, revisit chosen few. Find ye death and life in harmonious rhyme. And I'm just going to repeat it.
Okay. And, well, with that, that costs you 3 points of magic and 1d10 sanity. And, Randall, make a sanity check.
7.
Oh, my God.
I just can't.
I passed my sanity check.
Okay, so what you see is there's this pile of ash in front of Cornelius, and as Cornelius says the words, and he says them with conviction, there's the ash goes from just kind of shimmering in the light to actively glowing, and it glows brighter and brighter, and then there's a thunder crack, and all of a sudden there is this twitching, twisted pile of, you see chunks of hair, part of an arm, a piece of a foot, and there's this like half-formed, gibbering mouth, just wordlessly moving, and where should be a tongue, there are actual fingers that are just reaching out of it and just flailing madly, and this thing is just shuddering on the countertop, flailing.
Okay.
They couldn't keep them apart, could they?
First thing I say is, "What the flip?" And then I go, "Get away from it, Cornelius!" And I look around. And there's like matches or something. I'm not listening to the madman over there. I look around for matches in the kitchen.
Rhyme, harmonies in life and death ye find. Few chosen revisit life to death. Shine Azathoth, demon of stars ye bind.
Yeah, as you're looking for some flame, Randall, which there is, because this still has some open flames to it that are heating this thing up. You hear Cornelius saying this chant. Cornelius, it's harder to say backwards, and it's it almost feels like it's tugging on you in a different way. But with it, as you say it, and get that last syllable out, there's another shining, kind of almost coming through the skin of this conglomeration, and it grows brighter and brighter, and then the thing just disintegrates and just collapses into a pile of this shimmering, multicolored salt. And with that, that's another 3 points of magic and 1d10 sanity.
Might as well go for broke.
Only 5 this time, not 7.
Okay. Ouch. You want to roll a d8 for...
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see here. 4 again.
I'd say he probably collapses and can't remember anything for the last what.
He's like, "Hey, what are these words?" and reads it again.
Rip Cornelius, he's gone.
Yeah. Cornelius is kind of feeling sick. He doesn't know why he's here. Sits down in a chair and is just looking around confused. Meanwhile,
just staring at the wall.
Yeah. Aldous and Frank, you guys are busy trying to patch up Aunt Gertie on the porch. Both of you make a spot hidden test.
Nope, I critical fail, 98.
Okay. Frank? I think you might be...
Yep, I was. Hard success.
Okay. So, Aldous, you're busy trying to keep Aunt Gertie from dying and patching her up as best you can. Frank, you kind of step away from Aunt Gertie for just a moment, and you see some shining light behind you, and you turn around, and you can hear like Cornelius like babbling some crazy stuff inside, and you just happen to be looking at the butler lying there on the ground, and you see his body begin to glow, and then he just collapses into a pile of opalescent dust, like salt. And make a sanity check.
Let's pass.
Okay, so you've actually seen worse today, so you're doing okay with that.
I'm the most sane person I know.
I mean, when one of the people you know is Cornelius, it's not a high bar.
That sets the bar pretty high, right? Yeah.
All right. Well,
The hell is going on in there?
I don't know. I saw some things that I know I didn't see. I'm just gonna go with that, and I'm gonna go check these doors here because I don't want to be around this anymore.
Okay. Well, Cornelius sits himself down in a chair in the lounge area, and you just go to open one of the two doors.
Yep.
Door on the left or door on the right?
Let's go left.
Okay. So with it, you open the door on the left, and within that room, it's a bedroom. Right away, you can tell that, and it is impeccably clean. You see, there's a standing cabinet in here, as well as some toiletries, some personal effects, and things like that in here as well. But with it, this has a look of a place that's currently being lived in, but is kept in a neat order. Looking around in the place, nothing jumps out at you as unusual about it. The bedroom itself looks perfectly normal. Looking in the standing in the standing closet, it looks like there's formal clothing in here, but like clothing that a servant would wear. Seeing that, your guess is this is probably Pelham's room, that butler.
Yeah. Before I go try the other door, I'm just gonna, because I'm a little paranoid, I'm gonna kind of look under the bed, make sure there's no one hiding under there. I got my gun out that I barely know how to use.
Yeah.
Checking for boogeyman, Randall?
Well, you're one to talk over there, Cornelius.
So
yes, I am.
yeah, checking around, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. This room, it's almost disturbing how normal it is after everything you've just witnessed.
Right.
And so, yeah, with that, nobody underneath the bed, nobody hiding in a corner or anything like that. I mean, it's not that big of a room to begin with. You leave that room, go over into the next room.
Yep.
Open that door. It's another bedroom. And as you make your way into this bedroom, there's a desk in here that's got some various effects. Looks like a woman's effects, like a hairbrush, things like that. There's a silver cylinder just sitting in the middle of the desk. And beyond that, there's also hanging up on with a standing closet, like, external closet. Looks like a combination of women's and men's clothes in there.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously the cylinder grabs my attention, so I go over there. I kind of tap it with the barrel of the gun. And does it look like it's got like a screw-off lid or a pop top or something?
Yeah. It seems to have a fastened lid that can be detached. On the canister itself, it's got what looks like a family crest, a bear flanked by oak leaves, that you remember seeing on the Elias gate into their home. And inlaid in ivory on it, there is a small little placard kind of built into the side at the bottom that says "Dearest Woodrow."
Well, I figure it's probably just an urn then, so I'll go over there and why not?
Don't disturb our friend there, Randall.
Oh, I'm not. He won't mind. So I try and open it up however it opens.
Yeah, you're able to get the lid open, and inside it looks like kind of an iridescent yellow salt. It looks just in terms of texture, just like the salt that you guys found in the kitchen area. But this doesn't look multicolored. It looks kind of all one consistent tone.
All right.
Oh, look, he wasn't mixed up like the others.
Yeah, I'll put the top back.
It's all
out.
together.
Yeah.
Isn't that quaint?
Yeah. I say we burn this freaking place to the ground and get the hell out of here.
Oh, we couldn't have burned it with wood trough still here. And I'm going to take the jar and I'm going to walk out.
Okay, Randall, are you going to let him take the jar?
Yeah, I'm more interested in getting these Bunsen burners or whatever they had back then.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's plenty of like papers and things in here, especially in the lounge area. Like I said, a desk has been moved into the middle of it, and it looks like somebody's been furiously doing all kinds of work there. As you've been walking around, you notice that there's like a big heavy book sitting on the desk, along with just reams of paper.
Okay. Well, I'll go check that stuff out before I
Okay.
indulge my firebug.
Okay, so as you're checking out the desk, Cornelius, you've now got Dearest Woodrow. What are you up to with that? Did you have any terrible plans for it now, or are you just going to hang on to it in the meantime?
Cornelius is mulling a few things over.
Okay.
Right now, he's more thinking to use it in a break glass situation in case they stumble across the sister.
Gotcha. Okay. Aldous and Frank, you guys have patched Aunt Gertie up and brought her back into consciousness. Aunt Gertie, you got a stinging pain in your side, but otherwise, these kind men have patched you up, and it reminds you of that time in Marrakesh.
No. That time in northern India in Dharmashala, near the monastery.
It missed puncturing your stomach by mere inches. You're lucky.
But I took 9 points of damage. And technically, with first aid, they could bring me back to 1 point. But I need to go to the hospital.
That's what I was just gonna say.
And
I think we've got an hour to do that.
Yeah, I mean, with it, she's in pretty bad shape. So,
Yep.
Yeah, you can hear Cornelius and Randall moving around doing stuff. Do you guys have any plans? Like, are you guys gonna just let them know you're gonna take her and leave, or is one of you gonna stick around?
I wanted to get her to the hospital, basically. Like,
Okay. So
it's this other cabin shit can. As far as I'm concerned, it's all about trying to save her life at this point.
Okay.
so I'm gonna exit and want to take great care to not step on the salt of Pelham.
Okay. And so with it, you step over the salt remains of Mr. Grenville's body, and just as Aldous and Frank are lifting up Aunt Gertie to take her to the car, meanwhile Randall's inside looking over the contents of the desk.
Yeah. So I'm kind of flipping through, just trying to. Once I see that Cornelius is starting to walk out, I'm going to just try and shuffle the papers together and shove it inside the book so I can easily carry them.
Okay.
And I'll go, Mr. Felton, where are you going?
Oh, Randall. Yes, are you coming?
Oh, we're going. We getting out of here?
What do you have there?
Just papers, business papers.
Just business papers? You brought business papers?
Well, I'm just concerned. You've had a lot of stress. I'd hate for you to get a little more worried about this.
Well, yes, but you taught me signing things. Signing things can help take my mind off. You mind if I sign those?
Sure. And I grab a random sheet of paper out and go, just on the back. Don't worry about it. I've taken care of all the legalese on it.
Yeah. So the paper that he pulls out is just scrawled in poetry, about places that you've never heard of, Cornelius, looking it over. With it, the Elias poetry would. This is an example of that. But like it looks like it stuffed into his book. There's just reams of poetry.
Oh, legalese, huh? You've been getting into poetry.
Well, I found that it's more exciting to read that than typical disclaimers. But
but Randall's poetry. No, we must see what poet we have here.
Oh, but I believe Aldous has got your aunt there. She was in bad shape. We should tend to them. Let me knock over a couple of burners and we'll get going.
It doesn't matter, Randall.
Oh, it matters.
If she doesn't make it.
What?
And I kind of just pat the little paper.
Oh, well.
It'll be all okay.
No. That seems like a really bad. As your legal counsel, I'm going to advise against that.
You know more about these things than I do, Randall. So I'll take your word for it.
I appreciate you deferring on that. Let's go. Quick.
Dan, I just take it, and I'm just eyeing over the poetry.
Okay.
And then once again, I take great care not to step on the salt.
Gotcha. So are you guys going to make your way back to the car then, load up with Randall's armful of papers and everything, Aunt Gertie, and make your way back to Arkham? Is that the goal?
The closest hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, St. Mary's.
Okay. Well, you guys are a little closer to Bolton, so yeah.
Yeah, but a hospital in Bolton, probably not.
Yeah. Well, they have a surprising amount of industrial accidents there.
Or even a doctor that just something that's better than what we could do, and then they can transport to the hospital.
Yeah, so Bolton has a clinic near that you guys can make your way to, and that's a little closer than Arkham, but I mean it's not that far off to just take her back into Arkham either way.
Go to Arkham.
Yeah, that's fine.
We can find Pell. He can help us.
So, you guys drive back, make your way back to Arkham.
Who's driving? We'll let them decide.
Cornelius.
I'm better with a horse than an automobile, but if I have to, I have to.
Okay, so yeah, Aldous gets behind the wheel. What's up, Frank?
Oh, I could drive. Oh, sorry, Frank.
Oh,
Whoever, it doesn't matter to me. I can sit with Gertie, and just as long as we get her to a hospital.
Okay.
Randall, did you torch the place?
Oh yeah, when I went out, I tried to knock over some of those burners to.
Okay.
Start fire. That screw
easily
that
done
in my mind.
Easily done. Yeah. You tip that thing over, and it's not long before some of the chemicals go up, and there's a big burning fire in it, and it begins to spread as you guys make your way to the car, and then Aldous gets behind the wheel and begins to drive you guys back to Arkham. Randall, are you gonna kind of give a note what you've got, a quick once-over appraisal, just to kind of see what you've got?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's okay, Woodrow. I saved you from his fire. Pats the job.
So, Randall, there's a number of things here. So, first of all, that big heavy book you've got, in worn gold leaf on the cover of this book, it actually states the title as "Collected Poems of Dr. John Dee," and it's written in definitely an archaic style. This book is old, hundreds of years old from the look of it. But with it, you flip that book open, and actually just flipping a couple pages into it, you see like a woodcut title page that definitely does not agree with what's on the actual external cover. It says "The Necronomicon and Other Blasphemies" as translated by Dr. John Dee. And it gives a printing date on that title page of 1586. This is a very old book.
Oh well. I mean,
That would be during John Dee's lifetime. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I recognize the value of old books, so I become more careful as I kind of turn the pages.
Randall, is that more of your poetry?
No, not mine, not mine. But it claims to be poetry by John
Frank, have
Dee.
you read Randall's poetry? He handed me some of his poetry to sign. Isn't it interesting? I'm going to pass the paper to Frank.
Yeah. Besides that, there's a pile of notes that look like they're annotations to this book. Just kind of flipping through them really quick. And beyond that, another thing you catch here, it looks like it's all been bound together with a clip, is what looks like stage directions of some kind. And along with the stage directions, there is a deed. And Randall, you recognize this, as a lawyer right off the bat. Like this is a pretty recent deed. It's for the purchase of the Monarch Theater in Boston, Massachusetts, and it gives an address on the north side of Boston.
I point that out to the Frank and Cornelius. And I'm like going, look at this. They bought a theater.
A theater? Oh, Woodrow, what were you going to go watch at your theater?
Oh, who knows what these weirdos were doing? But we could.
Oh, I have a pretty good idea there, Randall.
They have eclectic interests.
Very. It's
Maybe Woodrow knows.
It's a pedal to the right, Aldous. That gets us going faster.
Randall, do you think Woodrow would know why they bought the theater? I think he would.
I don't think he's going to be talking to us.
Well, no. Not in the state he's in right now.
Story at the hospital.
yeah, are we at the hospital yet? I got a hole in me.
It will all be okay, Aunt Gertie.
I'm leaking.
So yeah, with it, you guys after a drive back into Arkham, it's about a half hour or so. You guys get back in and pull up in front of St. Mary's and deliver Aunt Gertie to the emergency room.
What's our cover story?
Oh, she was
I
stabbed.
fell on a sword.
She is an antiquity dealer.
That's the story, right?
I'm an antiques dealer. I fell on a sword accidentally.
Fair enough.
Then I murdered a freaking butler.
We should probably leave that out.
So, yeah, with it, with that, you guys get her checked in. They take her in immediately, right away because it's a pretty serious wound, and
I get 2 hit points back. I rolled.
Okay. Yeah. They patch you up as best they can. You're going to be in there for a few hours still while they're working on you. They actually rush you into surgery to fix what they can.
Yeah. I'm up to 3 hit points now, so that's okay.
And
it hurts. It hurts a little, but I did have 2 children, so.
Randall, are you gonna spend some more time with your pile of documents and everything that you grabbed while she's in surgery?
Oh yeah, I mean,
okay,
it seems like something I'd do.
Okay, first make a luck check.
Okay. Fail.
Okay, no problem. You were in a rush, grabbing what you could. There were, like I said, papers everywhere, so it's just hard to tell what you may have grabbed. But beyond that, do you have any writing, acting skill? I don't know, anything like that? Any kind of creative skill?
No, I took nothing in arts. So
okay. I didn't know if maybe you had writing or anything. Okay.
He's a lawyer. He's a polished liar.
Yeah. Like speaking big words.
He can artfully embellish the truth.
Well, one thing Let's see. Okay. Well, yeah, you're looking through it. It looks like you've got stage directions. There's some kind of a play that maybe goes with this. You don't have it. It's not with these things, but the stage directions definitely seem weird. There's some descriptions in there. Like you don't really know much about plays, but it just sounds kind of strange. Like like Exit World is kind of a strange stage direction, and what does that even mean? But as you look through it, one thing you see that's kind of written in frantic pen across part of it is a statement that says, "We shall don the masks of the welcoming, and by the face shall he know us."
Okay.
But beyond that, like these stage directions don't make much sense to you. A lot of the notes that you're seeing are really difficult to follow, and look like they either pertain to this play. Some of them are just some of the loose papers that you picked up are just reams of just cryptic and disturbing poetry, and some of it looks like annotations for that book. With it, just kind of flipping through all this stuff, you lose 1d4 sanity and gain 1 point of Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, 4 sanity. And how much Mythos? Sorry.
1 point.
Okay.
And with it, let's see. Yeah, I'd already explained. Yeah, the deed is new. It was purchased within the last month, like only 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Does it have the who they purchased it from, what law company, the escrow or whatever they would have used?
Yeah. It looks like it was purchased directly from a bank, so probably like a foreclosure or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty certain from reading through it. If you want to make a law check, I'll see specifically how much you're able to pull out of it.
That was a hard.
Okay, yeah. So there's some of the other forms are in there with this, and yeah, this this theater was bought on the cheap and has been shuttered for years before she purchased it.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, interesting. Okay.
So, yeah, with that, Randall spends plenty of time studying up on that. Cornelius cradling his silver canister.
I'm cradling my friend. He's scared. His home just got burned down.
I'm guessing you're just watching over Aunt Gertie, waiting for her to get out of surgery. Aldous and Frank, you guys do anything in the meantime?
I just want to mention to Frank, I'm like, when we went to the library, the Arkham Library the first time, we talked with that professor guy, and he was warning us. I don't know if we should maybe pay a visit to him. I don't know. You see what's going on. Maybe he has, I don't know. I don't know if it's a lost cause or if he could maybe, I don't know. It just keeps, that conversation keeps reflecting in my mind over and over, especially today. I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or if it's like psychologically I know I should talk to him, or I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss right now.
What the hell is we've seen today? I think we need to either talk to him because he sounds like he knew what he was talking about, or a priest.
Yeah. And what the hell? Why are we taking Gertie's great, but she does. Why are we bringing her out on adventures like this? I should have been through that door. I should have been the man going through that door, not her.
Yeah, we're gonna have to think a little bit more strategically as we move forward here.
I'm like, and just kind of like all you see me just sitting there thinking about stuff.
And yeah, as you guys discuss things, Randall's kind of sitting off in one section of the waiting room with his pile of papers. You guys have seen him study over it, and he has a fairly confident look about him, like he's got a sense of what he has with him.
What are you reading?
Well, it sounds like they were trying to write a play. I can't understand any of it, but what's interesting is that they weren't just writing it. It seems like they were wanting to put it on. They bought a theater in Boston and everything, and then they have this book. The name rings a bell, but I can't quite place it. Necronomicon or something like that.
I think that's the book that I was just telling Frank, the professor guy warned us about, or he said it should be burnt.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I flipped through it. It seems like a lot of weird talk. I don't understand it. I was more interested in this theater. I mean, it's
I think that theater should be our next place we go to check out, but
yeah.
Is Cornelius within earshot of us, or?
Presumably, yeah. Like he's milling about. He seems to be kind of in his own world with cradling that newfound friend of his in the cylinder.
I just kind of look around and like, you hold, like, and I kind of like gesture my head. Keep you hold on to that information. Kind of like, I
will. I didn't write the poetry. I just told him that.
I figured that out. Thank you, though. I can't. English is like my fourth language, so I can pick out a couple words here and there. So no sense in me trying to.
Right.
Oh. Yeah. With that, I mean, the time's passed. You guys spent your time kind of, discussing things or reading through the material and all of that. And Aunt Gertie is released. They ideally would like her to stay at the hospital longer, but the doctor kind of has a concerned look on his face, and that Gertrude is quite a woman, very forceful. We advise her not to leave, but if Mr. Felton, if Gertrude wants to leave, she's welcome to, but we highly advise against it.
Well, we can.
That's fine, Aunt Gertie.
We can hire a nurse for a week or two and let her convalesce.
Look, I'm not going to stay here. My doctor's out of town. I'm not going to stay here. The doctors are funny. They got me in stitches. I want to go.
Yes, and of course you can go, Aunt Gertie. Go on. I'll take you home.
Make sure they give you some nerve powders and pain tonics.
Oh, please.
Oh, she's got plenty of that.
I don't need no painkillers. Pain? What's pain? You don't know what pain is until you've had 2 children.
I lean in and I go, you never know what else we'll run into. Just make sure you take them. You don't have to take them physically. Just bring them with you.
Well, next time I'm going to stay at the car and you guys can get the... And I look at the doctors like, I didn't say anything.
Aunt Gertie, make a power check.
You shouldn't be trying to move antique swords on your own anyway.
49 out of 70.
Okay, so you managed to talk some big talk and suppress the grimace that wants to come out of you with every movement you make.
Yeah, and I've got to keep I don't want to rip my stitches.
Yeah, but with it, you put on a brave face, and the doctors let you walk out because they seem surprised that you're in such good shape.
They've given me some antibiotics, because apparently the saw just missed my bowels. I was really lucky.
Do they have them yet?
Do they have what?
Antibiotics.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Penicillin came out.
No, not yet.
40-something was penicillin.
Oh yeah.
I think you might have sulfa drugs.
Yeah.
I don't recall. But regardless, they
some mercury.
I mean, Cornelius has some leftover heroin from when he tried that. We can always,
I don't need no painkillers.
You could buy that at the Woolworths. Can we?
Wouldn't mind some cocaine though.
Do they have wheelchairs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean I know they have them. I'm saying I'm gonna wheel you out and throw it in the trunk so we have one to take you around.
You don't need it. Well, I guess you do. Walking is very painful.
Thanks, Doc. Thank you. Throw it in and take off.
Okay. So yeah, you guys make your way out. So you guys spent the better part of the day at a cabin in the woods or at the hospital. By now it's well into the afternoon.
We should go home.
I'm gonna ask him.
Phil might be waiting there for us.
Oh, he could be. He could be. You guys do that. I'm gonna swing by the newspaper and check. What I'm looking for is advertisements in Boston. See if there's any advertisements for something going on at this theater.
Yeah. Sure enough. I mean, this is something pretty straightforward. You're not looking for anything like, from the archives or anything. This is the latest edition stuff. You look through it. You see some signs of like an art gallery having some new things on display in Boston, a number of different cultural events and things like that. Nothing that mentions the Monarch Theater. There's a couple of things that are plays. They don't match any kind of description from anything you flip through, but with it, the addresses don't match either. Everything you see looks like it's something fairly normal or at a different address.
Okay. All right.
Could try calling a clipping service. That they clip all the,
Yeah, they look through all the newspapers to see if they find anything.
Yeah.
There's one in Arkham. I'm sure there's a couple of them maybe in Arkham.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Randall, you're able to spend some time, you do that on your own. You call out, you reach out. So you're doing that for a while. Aunt Gertie, I'm guessing, is doing her best to rest. Aldous and Frank, you guys up to anything?
Not particularly. I still need to rest myself.
Yeah.
I only have 5 hit points myself from the first initial attack.
Okay.
I keep drinking medicinal tea, but I drink it and it just comes shooting out.
So, everybody rests, with the exception of Randall, who spends some time.
I don't need to rest.
Okay.
Is there anything within walking distance of the Felton Manor? Either the theater.
Oh no!
A church or
the theater is in Boston.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's like 2 hours drive from Arkham. With it, there's a church not too far away. It's a bit of a walk, probably a half-hour walk from here. But
and how far away would be Miskatonic?
The university, that's pretty much in the center of town. So stately Felton Manor is on the outskirts. So that you'd probably want to take the car.
All right, I'll walk to the church.
Okay. So when you're
yada yada yada.
Well, with it, you have a nice talk with the priest. Make a sanity check.
Let's fail.
You fail? Okay.
Yep.
You kind of unburden yourself, and you're kind of like just looking down, like just talking about things. And at one point you look up and he just has this look on his face of like concern tinged with fear, and you realize you've maybe said too much.
Father O'Houlihan.
I'm looking for guidance, Father.
Oh, perhaps you have more and bigger concerns than old Father Ted here can give you. This is the time when you do that thing, prayer. Yes, pray to the Lord, and He'll, my word. Well then, He'll definitely give you the solace that you seek. That's what I can tell you. Good luck, my son. I have to go find Father Dougal. He's gone missing in his closet. Have a good day, son. And he hurries off.
So, is Dougal's first name Bill?
So, while you're seeking solace in the church with a priest who is woefully unprepared for the load that you are trying to unleash, Randall, you spend some time looking into this, trying to find anything. With the help of the clipping service, you find a small line that the theater was purchased, but that the new owners have no comment on what they plan to do with it or when it will reopen.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, and with that, I will head back to Stately Felton Manor. Meet the rest of it. All right, come on. I got nothing. You know, they bought it. They say they're not going to talk about what they want to do with it, and there's nothing advertised for it either.
You said that it's like a stage play that they've been writing?
As best I could tell. I mean, perhaps you could make some sense of it.
Are you talking about Cornelius can hear this?
Cornelius, make a listen roll.
Nope.
Okay.
And the PvP begins.
Well, considering, if you look at this, you know, you said that they bought a theater and they got stage direction here. But, you know, considering the weird stuff that we've seen in the last couple of days, what if this is not like a play that they're putting on? What if it's some sort of a religious ritual that they're doing? You know, the priests in the Catholic Church, they have rubrics of what they're supposed to do written along with the text. That's what this kind of looks like to me.
Oh,
yeah. If anybody wants to look at it, you can make a if anyone has any kind of acting, writing, any kind of creative skill. Otherwise, yeah, you can make an occult roll as well.
Of course, I'll let you pass it around freely.
I have art.
Yeah, you make an art roll.
I got 27 out of 25 on occult. Can I spend 2 luck points?
Yeah, if you want to. Okay.
All right.
Frank, you've actually got art skill? Yeah, go ahead and roll that.
46 out of 40. Just
Okay.
missed it.
Okay. I don't know if you want to spend the luck on it or push the roll or something.
Nah.
Okay. Aunt Gertie, you're looking over this and kind of coming at it with that attitude of like, maybe this is some kind of a religious thing. So with it, that's enough to kind of give you something to make sense of this. So with that, make a sanity check.
05.
Okay, yeah, you're fine as far as that's concerned. But with this, you're starting to think that maybe there's something to that. Like this is definitely stage directions, but it's also got elements of a call and response chorus to it. If you had the whole play, this might make more sense. But the audience seem to be participants in it, and not just a passive audience. And there's elements of dance that are included with this, and
some sort of experimental theater.
Yeah, because there seems to be a description of standing windows. And one thing you notice is sometimes the way that's written about, in a couple places, it appears as window/door. And initially, like just glancing over it, it kind of sounded like a kind of like a layout for how the set is supposed to be. But you realize that it's not just the set; it's also included in the directions as well.
This is very, very strange. I should have taken theater when I was in school, but I didn't.
Yeah. So with it, you do pick up a few things out of this. Like you gain 2 points of occult, a point of Cthulhu mythos, and one thing that you see. So looking into it, Randall had checked it out earlier and had seen some things in there, mentioning donning the masks of welcoming, and you realize from taking a closer look at this, all of the attendees are intended to wear masks.
Yeah, everybody's wearing a mask. That's why it sounds more like a ritual than like a play. But a ritual for what? Some of this doesn't make sense. There's windows and doors and dancing. Maybe it's a masquerade party of some sort.
Gertie, while you were
dead, yeah, I was dead for a couple of seconds. Leopold says hi.
Oh, hey. Cornelius was reciting something he found in there in... I'm trying to recall exactly. I don't remember what he said because I was literally had my hand inside your stomach, but packing in the cotton. But he kept reciting something. Maybe you want to ask him. Ask what Cornelius. He had a paper. He kept saying something over and over. I think Randall kind of went in right after he said it, and then Frank and I stayed there.
You say he was... See, I didn't get to see inside the house, other than a split second before I got run through with a sword.
The same thing. I didn't really enter the house either, but...
Well, thank you for packing me full of cotton.
Oh, I did what I could. I'm just glad you're here.
You see that Corny was reading something or reciting something?
Yeah, I heard him saying it, and then Randall went in to investigate. Maybe you can enlighten us a little more, Randall, or call Corny over. Maybe you can look at it.
Yeah, I'll go get him. I don't remember what he said. But it was awful. And so, Mr. Felton, I'll go hunt you down.
Oh yes, and I come in with my Woodrow.
Yeah, stop talking to that bird in there. Come on.
Oh, it's not a bird.
So, Corny, what happened inside since I was indisposed?
Oh, well, quite funny. I discovered what Pell was trying to discover all along. I know what they were working on.
What were they working on?
This. Woodrow's nice and safe. We figured it out.
So Woodrow's dead.
No. At least, not in the sense that you would say. Simply waiting.
Explain yourself further, hon. I'm at a loss.
Oh, well.
Aldous says he heard you.
It's easier to show if you want.
Well, Aldous said he heard you saying something like a poem.
Like a poem? No, Randall's the one with the poetry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Real good poet. But no, you said some weird stuff in the cabin is what they're talking about. Not my poems.
Weird. Randall.
Well, it was
cabin,
weird.
You were there when I sealed the door, weren't you? You should know, Randall.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, and you had a piece of paper.
Oh yes, yes.
What happened to the butler?
Oh, well, he's waiting too. Now, if the fire didn't burn him out.
I wanted to know. I mean, he ran me through with a sword.
Yes,
and I lost consciousness. And then what happened to him?
Well, I blasted him to smithereens, and well, he had an experience.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear.
What Lot's wife experienced. Aunt Gertie, if you've ever read the Bible, he was very intimate with that experience.
I wanted to hear for sure that my death was avenged because that bastard ran me through with a sword. So you killed him. Good.
Clear case of self-defense.
So
what are we talking about?
What's with the dead guy under your arm?
Oh, I'm saving him.
You said that's Woodrow.
It is Woodrow. He is Woodrow.
You said that they had figured out how to live forever?
In a sense, yes.
I feel as if there's something you're not telling us, Corn.
Listen. Just come with me. I'm gonna start walking back out into the living room.
Okay. Let's go see what Corny's gonna show us.
I'll push you.
They go out there. Did they see that I've emptied the contents of the cylinder onto the floor?
Now we're gonna have to get out the broom.
Yeah, there's
been worse things than that.
Find ye stars of demon Azathoth shine, death to life, revisit chosen few. Find ye death and life in harmony's rhyme.
And with that's another 3 points of magic, and which I mean most of your previous stuff had recovered by now, and another D10 sanity as he says that.
One.
The pile of yellow salt begins to glow. Like at first, it's just kind of shimmering yellow in the light of the house, and then it begins emitting its own light, and it gets brighter and brighter. And then there's a loud crack, like a thunder crack. Oh. And where once there was a pile of dust on the ground, now there is a hunched figure of a man with what looks like is maybe pieces are missing from him. Like his head is like uneven and part of it's sunken in. He's missing several fingers, and eyes are darting around wildly.
I lost 10.
Where am I? Where am I?
You're here with us in Arkham. Who are you?
Yeah,
it's Woodrow.
This figure is gaunt and graying. He looks he almost looks like half starved. And then, like I said, he's missing chunks of flesh and hair. And yeah, when you say the name Woodrow Cornelius, he looks up and locks eyes with you. Woodrow is me. I'm Woodrow.
Yes, you are Woodrow.
Where am I? Why did this happen?
3. That time.
4-sided dice.
Yeah, and I rolled it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then roll a 4-sided dice.
Oh, 4-sided dice. Gotcha. Also a 3.
You begin screaming uncontrollably for the next 1d10 rounds.
So, yeah, Cornelius.
So just excitement, I would imagine, with my mental state.
It's hysteria is what you've got.
Yeah.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah. So Cornelius is just screaming, "It's Woodrow! Woodrow's alive!
I told you!"
And just like on hearing his name shouted repeatedly, the hunched and pitiful figure on the floor just breaks down into this baleful, just tear-jerking, sobbing sound of absolute misery and wretchedness, and he is just bawling and
And
weeping.
he's naked.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Sanity rolls.
Yeah,
around?
Everybody make a sanity roll. This is quite a situation. Everybody but Cornelius. You already.
It's Woodrow.
Just
94.
passed it.
Okay.
Randall failed.
Everybody who passed it, you lose a point. If you failed, say D4 plus 1.
5.
So Randall finally joins his boss.
Yes. Well, finally.
What'd you get? 5?
Yeah.
D8.
1.
You faint. For 1d10.
Heavens to be. Great ground.
At this point, I'm standing up and putting myself in between this creature, for lack of a better word, and Aunt Gertie. And
Okay.
I'm just kind of like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing anything, but I'm like ready to I always have a knife on my belt, and I'm just have my hand on it. I'm looking at her, I'm looking at him, and I'm just.
So yeah, this is quite a scene. Cornelius is just dancing and cheering and shouting and exhorting the name Woodrow with joy. Meanwhile, this person who is apparently Woodrow is on the floor naked, bawling his eyes out, just weeping tearfully. Aunt Gertie is nonplussed by this situation. Randall has fainted dead away. Somewhere off in the distance, Frank is whistling to himself and making a cup of coffee.
Oh, the Woodrow, my dear Woodrow. And I crouch down over and hug him awkwardly. It's okay, Woodrow.
So you market that as man in a can.
Make a charm roll.
Instant man in a can.
I pass.
Okay. So one thing you notice every time you after you calm down from your adulation from this, and you start to realize that every time you say his name, he cringes and just lets out this choking, painful noise on top of all of the weeping. And you realize that continually saying his name is probably not the best thing you can do. And you kind of cradle him awkwardly, and the sobbing slowly subsides as you begin to feel wet with just tears and snot. But eventually he kind of chokes back the tears, and then just kind of looks up at the lot of you.
Does anybody have any questions for him?
Get him some clothes, for crying out loud.
Grab, I'm sure there's like a blanket or a throw across one of the sofas.
Corny's got a whole closet full of clothes. Just grab something.
And I'll run over and grab.
Not the Armani.
That will drape over him because I'm size 90.
That's true.
You bring out some.
That's Frank.
Yeah, some clothes to drape over him, basically to kind of put something on top of him at least for now. And as you do, he just kind of paws at this indentation in his head where there's just no hair and it's like dented in, and he's just like pawing at it, and he says, "What's become of me? What? I get words. I can't."
No, it's okay. All we can do, it's too late for. We've all seen things that we wish we wouldn't. Hell unfortunately left his curse of knowledge to us. But there is still something we can do about it. There's one piece of the puzzle missing. We're trying to help everyone, so nobody must suffer what we are. Please, why do you
help?
A play?
What?
A theater?
I could play? What play? What is a play? Who? What is? There's no play. This is all the world's a stage and everybody dies. But there's no play.
There's no play. What is it?
What is what? What is what? I'm not him anymore. I'm nobody. Oh, it's all lost. So.
What was your sister working on?
Who did this to you?
As the two of you ask that, he lashes out with an open hand, kind of smacking Cornelius away from him, and he on the drop of a hat goes from tearful to just this look of rage and directionless fury as he just my sister kill her. I'll kill her. I'll kill me.
Did your sister do this to you?
Betrayed me. She didn't know. It's mine. It's all mine. Give it back. Give it back.
Oh, I think we've had quite enough. Rhyme harmonies in life and death. Ye find few chosen. Revisit life to death. Shine Azathoth, demon of stars. Ye bind.
As you say it, like I said, it actually takes longer to say backwards. He looks up at you, and he just has this like look of peace and relief on his face, and he just reaches out to you to touch you with his hand as you finish the sentence, and he just begins to glow with this faint yellow as these cracks run across his skin.
And as
he just collapses.
We'll kill her for you.
And he just collapses into a pile of salt.
7.
Well, now I've seen everything.
Gosh.
Do you have any sanity left?
I have 10 left.
You need to be hospitalized.
No, he's done for, man.
Want to roll your dice?
Yep. I'm 1 point away from the whole crossing of the mythos skill and the 8 sanity.
8.
8. Yeah, let's go. 7.
Ooh, 7.
Red mist.
Well, no, that's 8. Okay, you are having hallucinations. 1d4 will tell you what.
Ooh, I hope it's the singing I heard back at the house. That was fun. 4.
You are hallucinating that there are monsters everywhere. Hideous, insane monsters.
Okay. Yeah, so Cornelius, as Woodrow collapses into a pile of dust, You swear you hear him whisper to you that the monsters, they're all around you. And you look up and you see a pair of them standing over you. One monster is lying on the ground, a snake-like creature slithering towards you.
Stay back! And I immediately just start almost like flying as fast as I can backwards to press up against my protective symbol.
Okay.
Stay back! I know the symbol! As I shout to the air, as everybody else is like, what the? I know this.
Corny's lost his mind.
Gertie, this is what I wanted those tonics for. This is what I was talking about. I put my hands not up like this, but out to the side, so I don't,
Aldous, get back! It's right next to you.
I jump. I'll play along. I jump out of the way. What do you see? What's going on, buddy?
Right there.
Okay. I pull out my knife.
Get to the sign.
I got you.
I won't do anything.
Get behind me.
Hey guys, what did I miss?
Frank, stay back.
Frank, get in here, buddy.
No, stay back. He's behind the sign. He's safe.
Oh, thank God you brought the coffee.
So yeah, Frank. Yeah,
I'll just break down in tears.
Yeah, Aldous is brandishing a knife. Randall is unconscious on the ground next to a pile of yellow salt, and Cornelius is backed up against the front door and is just like slides down the door weeping.
There's something on the floor going after Cornelius. You see it, right? And I throw you a wink.
Oh yeah. Look, I've never seen anything like that.
I'm protecting.
Get away before it gets you.
Gertie, you got some of that tea? From the doctor?
Yeah, there's a whole drawer of cocaine over there, but I don't think that's going to help him.
No.
Where's the gun with the sign?
It's safe.
I think it's about this time that I really should suggest that we've gotten in way over our heads.
So I want to freak out for a while. I rolled a 9 on the
Calm
rounds.
down, honey. Calm down, Corny. Come on. Calm down.
Yeah. So this grim standoff occurs for a while until eventually Cornelius seems to calm down and come to his senses.
Oh, they're gone.
Okay, let's all just sit down here for a few minutes and have some. Oh, is Randall back?
Yeah, if Cornelius is sobering up.
Yeah.
Let's just slow down here for a minute. Oh my God!
We have to go. We have to stop her.
I think we could all use a nice stiff drink at this point.
Yes, there's some under the cabinets. There's a false panel.
I remember.
Oh, do you have Irish cream? I'll go well with this coffee.
Oh.
Yes, I have everything, Frank. Don't you worry.
Pour everybody a couple of fingers of whatever is in there.
Yeah, a couple, more than a couple. Okay, we got to get our heads about ourselves because I think that you're right. I think we have to stop this crazy woman from doing whatever she's doing.
Yes, and she's at the play. The play. Pell mentioned the play. He had a play.
Somebody has to clean that mess up.
And anything Pell has is dangerous, which means the play he had was dangerous, which means the play they have is dangerous. And you saw what else they had, what it did to Woodrow.
Yeah,
we have to stop it.
Of which, what the hell was that? Like
immortality, Albus.
If that's immortality, I don't want to live a day past when I die. Please, no. I don't know what that was.
Unfortunately, when he was put in the jar, not all of him was present. Some was lost.
I'm kind of.
But if all the soul was preserved, I'm sure it would go much better.
Now, the question I have is, how did he get into that state?
My sister put him in it.
Yeah, but like, does she say the magic spell and he turns into salt, or did she do something to make him into salt, and then he can turn back and
Oh,
forth?
well, if you notice what I said, you didn't turn to salt. You're not dead.
Well, you weren't saying
The
it.
butler, he turned to salt when I said it. He was dead.
This is crazy. So why are they going to do this in a theater?
It's a play, isn't it? Where else are you supposed to have a play?
What are
Especially a
they
play that
trying
won't
to
arouse
do?
suspicion.
What are they trying to do?
Oh, I don't know. What are the notes? The notes. Did anybody have any notes about this?
I don't know.
I'm at a loss for words, and I haven't been a loss for words for a long time.
Randall, is there a book in your poems about a play?
I could read through it, but it'll take me a while to look through. It's written in very old English. But
Wait a second. This big book you've got over here.
yeah.
You said that this was what?
It was Necronomicon or something like that.
Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Isn't that the book that Mr. The library guy?
Yep. He said
Yeah.
it should be burnt, and now I see why.
Oh, so
But they
valuable.
Lords have
from the library.
power, don't they?
Maybe we need to talk to him about this, because he knows about this book and he thinks it needs to be burned or locked up or something.
That's what you were actually indisposed in the car, but that's what I was talking to Frank and Randall about a bit on the drive to the hospital.
But he seems to be somebody who knows something about this stuff.
So I was thinking it's been nagging in my head all day. I think we
And he
should talk to
warned
him.
us, so I don't think he's one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Armitage, that was his name, wasn't it?
Thank you. Yes, I've been
Mr.
trying to think of it all day.
Yes, well, you can go talk to him. I'm going to wait for Pell.
Why don't we all stick together at this point? Safety in numbers, they always say.
But what if Pell comes and we're not here and he leaves?
Leave him a note on the door.
Yeah.
Always brilliant, Aldous.
Well, by now it's getting into the evening. I mean, you guys got out, from the hospital in the afternoon. Some of you came home, rested up. A couple of you made a few, trips out to collect some information or visit a priest. And by now it's kind of getting into evening.
We'll have to go tomorrow morning because I'm sure he's not there at night.
I remember when I left him, I asked if I could get in touch with him again. Do you remember? I don't remember if he said just a call or to go there, or did he give me a number? I don't remember.
Yeah, do you have his number?
I think we got a telephone number.
Yeah. I mean, you can call the university if you want.
He said something. I just didn't remember. I don't recall what it was. That's why.
Call him. Maybe he's working late. Maybe he's there.
I mean, it's worth a shot, and we'll just set something up for the morning.
Just tell him, or just tell him to come over right now.
Yeah.
Tell him that we've got some really, really weird stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn to, because I was kind of looking through the old notes here. I'm going to turn to page 34 and 200 in the Necronomicon, because those were mentioned in Pell's notes.
Okay. Well, with that, kind of flipping through them from the earlier notes. Let me see. Just find the ones that I'm looking at. Yeah. So with it, the notes from 34 it looks like it's some kind of dream discussion about dreams not just being fancies or even premonitions, but being more, being a method of communication. But from comparing it to the older notes that you have from Pell, you're starting to see what maybe he was talking about. These notes are this. They're skeptical of what this book has to say about these dream rituals, and from what you think from the notes, I mean, you kind of have several people's notes over these at this point. You've got Pell's initial notes where he was concerned about it, and then you actually found some notes of Woodrow that seemed kind of excited about using it, and then some notes from his sister that were concerned kind of about it as well. And you think anybody who were to do the rituals that were included on this page would likely be extremely at risk. From the kind of things you've seen, you think even if Woodrow were whole physically, if he had engaged in these rituals, it would mean bad things.
Okay.
As you continue to read through the book, the other page, the page 200, is some kind of a fanciful history of the ancient world, creatures walking the earth before the time of man. But pretty quickly, you get the sense that this looks like it may have been something else that Pell was researching, not anything really pertinent to what you're looking into. You pretty quickly get the sense of that. But as you know, it's difficult to read through. There's a lot to it. But as you continue to read through it, roll 2d10.
All right. 10.
Ouch. Okay. Well, Randall, you lose 10 points of sanity and gain 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos as you read through this corrupted and expurgated copy of the Necronomicon. And you definitely know that as incorrect and twisted as this book is, what it does get right is all too terribly true.
Want to roll for sanity loss? Or a roll for 1d8?
Yeah, because you're left with the implication that whatever these ancient creatures were that predated man, they're not going to do any worse. There's no way humanity will compete with them.
Right. And I rolled a 1, so I passed out again.
Randall passes out. Cornelius forgets everything.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And he's down again. Maybe I should read that book.
Randall, was this your first full insanity with it? Because if that is, you gain 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos from having fainted the first time.
Oh yeah. So.
So yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Would I have lost 5 would I have gained 5 from my frequent?
Only from the first time. I think actually
I've gotten 9 from books, but I haven't gotten 1 from.
I think you actually. I don't remember if 7th edition you get 1 each time.
You get the initial one from reading it, and then it takes 3d6 or weeks or months to actually reread it, and then you.
Oh well, yeah. But I'm
just saying having a bout of madness from those related thing.
5 the first time, 1 each additional time.
Yeah. So you probably would have picked up a couple more by now, Cornelius.
That puts me around. All right. That's fun.
Okay. And so with that, Randall passes out, wakes up again, and you guys all decide that with everything that you've had for the day, it's probably time to turn in, rest up, and relax a little.
Positions and lay on the floor.
Yeah. And then the next morning, we'll pick it up from there.
Excellent. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Brian Daly, Keith Craig, Jason Melnichuk, and myself, with Luke Strom as Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. There's a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We like reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.